You thought it was love. He made you feel seen, wanted, even special at times. But deep down, something always felt off, didn't it? Like you were giving everything and getting almost nothing back. You blamed yourself. You tried harder. But the truth is, he was never truly with you. He was using you. And the hardest part, you didn't see it because your heart was too busy believing in who he pretended to be. I'm going to show you the signs, the ones you missed, not because you were weak, but because you were kind. And now, it's time to see clearly. Sign 1, he showed up only when it was convenient. He didn't make time for you. He made time when it benefited him. He'd disappear for days, maybe weeks. And just when you were about to give up, he'd text, call, show up at your door. And you'd feel relief, maybe even hope. But ask yourself, where was he when you needed someone? When you were hurting? When you simply wanted to feel valued, not used? In psychology, this is called selective engagement. It's when someone only invests in a relationship for what they can extract: attention, comfort, validation, or even just your energy. It's not love, it's convenience. And if you always had to wait on his terms, you weren't a priority, you were a backup plan. Sign 2, you gave more than you got. You were the one who stayed up late just to talk. You remembered the small things, his favorite food, his bad days, his dreams. You made the effort, you reached out, you showed up. And what did you get in return? Excuses, silence, or worse, just enough affection to keep you hoping. This wasn't love, it was emotional imbalance. In psychology, we call it a one-way emotional transaction, where one person gives out of love and the other takes out of habit. The scary part? The more you gave, the more he expected. And over time, you stopped asking for anything at all, just to keep the peace. But real love doesn't drain you, it refills you. Sign 3, he made you feel guilty for having needs. You weren't asking for much, just honesty, consistency, maybe a little reassurance. But somehow, even that felt like too much for him. Every time you expressed your feelings, he rolled his eyes, got distant, told you were too emotional or always starting drama. That wasn't your sensitivity, that was his manipulation. In psychology, this is called emotional gaslighting. It's when someone distorts your reality to make you doubt your own needs, your own worth. You started apologizing just for speaking up. You silenced your pain to protect his comfort. And slowly you began believing that love meant never being a burden. But let me tell you, your feelings aren't a burden. They're a signal. And he ignored them because he never intended to meet them. Sign 4, he future faked you. He painted a picture of the future, your future together, vacations you'd take, a home you'd build, maybe even a ring. And every time you doubted the relationship, he dangled those dreams to keep you close. But when it came time for action, he disappeared behind delays, distractions, or silence. This is what psychologists call future faking. It's a form of manipulation where someone offers false promises to gain commitment, with no intention of following through. It feeds on your hope, and you stayed, not because you were naive, but because you believed in potential. But love isn't built on someday, it's proven in the right now. And if his promises always lived in the future, then so did his lies. Sign 5. He was emotionally unavailable, but physically present. He was there, but not really. He sat next to you, touched you, smiled at the right moments. But somehow you still felt alone. Conversations were shallow. Your deeper thoughts brushed off. Your emotions met with blank stares or quick distractions. This is what we call strategic emotional detachment. Psychologically, it's a defense used by people who want the benefits of intimacy, without offering the vulnerability that real connection requires. It's confusing, even painful, because your heart begins to crave crumbs and call it love. You start thinking, maybe I'm asking for too much, but you weren't. You were asking for what any soul needs, to be seen, heard, and held. And he gave you just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to feel secure. Sign 6, your self-worth dropped in that relationship. Think back to who you were before him. More confident, more vibrant, more you. But somewhere along the way, you began to shrink. You second-guessed your words, questioned your value, and tolerated things you once said you'd never allow. That's not love. That's emotional erosion. In psychology, we call it progressive devaluation, where someone chips away at your self-esteem so subtly, you barely notice it happening. It starts with little comments. A comparison here, a joke at your expense there. Until one day you wake up and realize you don't recognize yourself anymore, because loving him became a full-time job, and loving you got lost in the process. Sign 7, he never took accountability. Every argument turned into your fault. Every mistake, every disappointment, somehow he found a way to blame you. He twisted your words, rewrote the story, and made you question your own memory. This isn't forgetfulness. This is called psychological projection, a defense mechanism where someone deflects blame by assigning their flaws or actions to others. And if he was especially skilled at it, you likely started apologizing, even when you weren't wrong. That's the power of emotional manipulation. It doesn't just confuse you, it conditions you. You weren't just in a relationship, you were in a cycle where his ego was protected at the cost of your peace. And in his world, he was never the problem. But that doesn't mean you were. Sign 8, he was there in good times, gone in crisis. When everything was going well, he was your partner. He celebrated your victories, shared your laughter, basked in the glow of good moments. But when the storm hit, when life got heavy, when you needed him most, he vanished. Maybe he gave you a text, a vague excuse, or nothing at all. And you were left alone with the weight of the world, wondering why someone who claimed to care so much couldn't stand by you when you were falling apart. This is emotional abandonment, and it's more than just disappearing. It's a choice he made, one that showed you, time and time again, that your struggles were his inconvenience. He wasn't there for the hard stuff because he never intended to be a true partner. He was there for the easy parts. But love, real love, it shows up when the world falls apart. Sign 9, you had to keep proving your love. Love should feel like a safe place, a shared commitment built on mutual care and trust. But with him, it always felt like a test. You gave, and you gave, always trying to prove that you were enough. You made him feel special, prioritized him, bent over backwards, but no matter what you did, it never seemed to be enough. This is called the validation trap. It's where someone manipulates your need for affection, making you feel like love has to be earned, not freely given. And no matter how much you gave, it felt like you were still waiting for that one thing. A genuine acknowledgement, a word of appreciation, a real connection. But instead, you were left chasing something you could never catch. His approval. That's not love, dear. That's a cycle of self-doubt and emotional exhaustion, where you never get to be fully yourself because you're too busy proving you're worthy. Sign 10, deep down, you always felt alone. This one is subtle, yet it's the most telling. You could be lying next to him, sharing a meal, or even laughing at something together. But no matter how close you were, you always felt like something was missing. It wasn't just loneliness, it was emotional isolation. It's like your soul knew, even when your heart didn't want to admit it. You were never truly seen. You were never fully loved. This feeling is your intuition, whispering the truth you refuse to face. That emotional void wasn't created by distance. It was created by absence. The absence of genuine connection, the absence of care, the absence of someone who truly cares about you beyond what you can give. And when you finally realize it, that's when the healing can start. Because now you know you were never alone in your worth. You were just alone in that relationship. If any of these signs resonated with you, know this. You weren't weak. You weren't foolish. You were loving. You gave your heart to someone who didn't deserve it, and that's not a reflection of your worth, but of theirs. The truth is, love isn't supposed to feel like a game. It's not supposed to make you question who you are or what you deserve. Real love, true love, builds you up, lifts you higher, and fills you with the certainty that you are enough. And while it hurts now, this is the moment you stop questioning yourself. This is the moment you stop tolerating less than you deserve. You are worthy of being cherished. You are worthy of love that's whole, not half-hearted. And most importantly, you are worthy of a partner who will show up for you, not just in the good times, but through the storm. It's time to let go of the lies you were told and embrace the truth about who you are. You are enough, and you are worthy of a love that sees you, values you, and never takes you for granted. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might need to hear these truths today. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an empowering video that can help you grow and heal. And if you've experienced any of these signs, I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Remember, you are not alone. Together, we can build a community where self-love and respect are the foundation of every relationship. Stay strong, stay empowered, and always know your worth.